Broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating. God damn you all to hell!
It's the Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 20 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, and I'm going to let my colleague Martin introduce the show. Martin, go for it.
What? You give it? Hang on.
Oh no, sound effects.
And hello to episode 20 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. And my co-host, the master of the... What was that series we watched last night?
The Outer Limits.
The master of the Outer Limits, all 7 seasons. And is my co-host.
Thank you. It's me, Mr. Michael Ball. Hello, Martin. How are you?
Hello, Michael Ball. Hello, and how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for that nice intro. It's nice to... I'm always doing it. We should maybe take turns or something, to be fair, because we are sort of joint co-hosts.
Well, I'll plot my revenge for next week, then.
Yeah, and also, even what you could do is you could throw something to me when we do the live opening, and then I can mix in the sound effects as well, so it could be even more interesting.
God.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
I'm good. Oh
dear. He's got this glint in his eyes. He's already making these major plans for the forthcoming show. So that should be good.
Yes.
Martin, how are you? How you been with this world?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm okay. It's. I think that are we in week 3 or what week are we on now?
I think we're in 3. Is it week 4? I've been off. No, I think it's week 3 because I took myself out of work a week early, and I've been off for. Well, I've been over 4 weeks. It would be 5 weeks. I would have been off by Friday. So yeah, it's 3 or 4 weeks since this has all started. We were talking before we started recording about how we think that the world's going to be after we supposedly get normality. You were talking about things like just going for a cup of coffee out or going to the pub. What do you think the world will be like in a year's time from now when we were supposedly have normality?
I don't know. I discussed this with a couple of friends actually this week. Because I've got a feeling in May, I think we might be allowed out.
Right.
You know, but it's... I mean, where do you go? I mean, say like you want to go to the pub. I mean, I don't really drink, but I do meet friends.
It's nice to go to a social outlet like that. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what do you do? Do you sit in there with a mask all night? Do the pubs let a certain amount of people in so they have to sit apart from each other?
Yeah.
You go for a coffee. What about if you go for something to eat? How's all this going to start playing out? Because I'm going to be paranoid of getting on the tube.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you.
You know, I mean, this is going to psychologically, this is going to affect people.
I think it's going to reshape society in a different way. I mean, it is sort of future. I mean, at the moment we're talking science fiction, but this is becoming science fact. That often in science fiction you get some storyline or some plot where society changes, and it's interesting to look at it from a fictional perspective. But we're talking about the future of something where, you know, something as informal as going in for a coffee or something and sitting in a little crappy cafe, and just just doing normality, and then how will people act? Will they be more guarded? Will all the seats be in cafes be really separate, and there'll be all signs saying wash your hands and sanitizers whenever you're right by the kiosk when you're paying for the coffee? You know, it's quite concerning. And it's quite interesting to see. And of course you're worried not just about that, but the economy, how, you know, because some people are saying that you have what's the word when you haven't got much money in the system? Can't think of the word. What's the word? Recession. You have recession.
Yeah.
But they're starting to say that there might be worse than that. It might actually be like a proper depression, like in the 1920s or something in America, 1930s. You know,
they're going to have to borrow lots of money and sort it out, aren't they? Because they made big promises.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to deliver. That's why the entire North voted the way they did. I mean, I'll tell you something. I wouldn't want to be in politics after this.
No.
I'm not getting political. I'm on about all of them, the whole lot of them. Don't matter the ideology. But they've made big promises, and they're going to have to deliver. They're going to have to borrow more money, I suppose. I don't know. I really, this worries me.
But where are they going to get the money from? Where every other country has also used up all their resources.
Well, it's amazing how money seems to appear out of nowhere, doesn't it?
Yes. Like the $1 trillion
I'm
in America.
not getting political, but it's suddenly 350 billion got banged on the table.
Well, they have these reserves, don't they? I do think, in their defence, not just a political party.
I'm not knocking them.
I'm saying I think they do have these emergency storage of money for this particular context, and that's what's happening at the moment. They're sort of digging into their emergency. I mean, the government aren't stupid, and this is something which they've been sort of like fearing for decades. And so slowly the money builds up, and this is the big year where they're about to delve into this emergency reserve of money to get the country hopefully not...
Yeah, and they promised all that as well, didn't they? The big change and everything as well. I mean, people are going to be expecting that, aren't they, after this?
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, I don't know how they're going to do it, that's all. But, well, good luck to them. I hope they do it, you know. But I'm not taking any political party side. I'm just wondering where we're going politically and society-wise when this lockdown sort of comes to an end. And is it going to be, how would you say, is it going to be like certain areas at a time that are going to be eased on restriction? Is it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this might sound funny, but say you're in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
And you're going out, we've all done it, and you're going out with your mates on a Saturday night, and you're looking to, you know, to...
Yeah, Paul.
Meet a lady.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, how are you going to go about that? What, are you going to be at it with a surgical mask and surgical stuff? I mean, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Because you're going to be slobbering all over each other. I'm not being like, you know, but I thought about this. What's going to happen now?
Well, what will be the case?
What's going to happen now?
What will be the case is if they can get a vaccine, then we will go back to, I assume, relative normality because...
you reckon?
Yeah, because once the threat is gone, then you're back to square one. But if they can't find a vaccine, they can only find preventative measures, then the things that you're talking about will have a major factor.
Weird. Well, do you know what the most top-selling things are at the moment?
What's that?
Televisions, dildos. Right. Seriously, dildos, new TVs.
Yeah.
Streaming. They're like the most popular things.
Well, what else have people got to do with it?
Toys.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I didn't know about the toys. I didn't know about the toys, but
there's a shortage of dildos, of all sex toys, and pop. And they're the most gaming. They're the most popular things at the moment.
Yeah.
People have grabbed. I read this article about it. I'll send it to you on Facebook, and it was quite interesting. You know, because there was a shortage of sex toys in certain countries.
I've not heard of that. Oh my god! But
I know.
I suppose that doing things at home, right? You know, you could be watching the TV or you could be doing other things. I suppose it's what people are doing.
I'll tell you what I found my life recently, because the one thing in there, I know we've only been at it 3 or 4 weeks, and I don't mind being on my own because that don't bother. But the thing that annoys me more than anything else, I think now it's starting to grate on me just a bit, is that I can't just go out when I want.
Yeah, I felt that,
and I think that bothers me now.
I mean, we went down to the post box the other day to send off a com badge. I've got these 3D things I'm doing. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, let's wash our hands. And even when we come in, we take our shoes off so we are not treading, because people spit on the floor. And it's all paranoia. And I'm doing things I never thought I'd be doing. But I'm washing
my hands 20 times a day.
Yeah, well, I don't wash them too much indoors because I'm indoors, so I'm not going out anywhere. I still wash my hands, obviously. But if I go anywhere, like if I just go outside, I put something in the bins or I open the gates or anything like that, then I'm just paranoia. And it's horrible. I mean,
I got a new TV delivered yesterday.
Oh, how is it? Is it good?
Yeah, I'm just working out where to put it. Right. I've ended up demolishing out the front room.
Oh no, is it a bit too big? Is it?
Yes.
Oh dear.
But I'm going to win.
Of course you will.
But when he dropped it off, I answered the door with my mask on.
I haven't got a mask, actually.
I stood there looking at him and I felt such a twat.
No, I don't think you would be.
On.
No.
And I got this big telly and I got it upstairs. And I mean, he didn't weigh that much, but he offered to help me. I said no. And when I got in straight away, because they touched the box, it wasn't his fault. I washed my hands.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm like now. This is what I mean because of all that we're doing all this, and there is a lot of fear out there. That's why I've stopped watching news now. I watch it once on a morning,
right,
and then I don't watch it till next morning because I was getting engrossed in news all the time.
Yeah.
And I've had to pull back, so I've started. I've been thinking, well, I'm going to get new stuff. I'm going to sort the house out and I'm going to do what I can till I get the decorators in. And I'm trying to keep myself focused. And my social life now is all online. Like I've got a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock on Zoom with about 6 people.
Right.
And then I got invited on Saturday night. I went to a party on Saturday. I did. There were 40 people up, and I was on this thing called House Party.
Oh, how'd it go? Was it good?
I think you mentioned it. You use it, don't you?
Sorry, you missed the Zoom, and then you also said House Party. House Party I've used with my family, and we had about 6 of us on, and it's actually very good. Actually, I thought it was pretty impressive.
It moves it moves to different people.
Yeah,
there were all these rooms, and I got a friend of mine's on it. I got invited in, and I went in there a good few. I was talking to people in other countries who I didn't have a clue the what.
Yeah,
it was sort of interesting,
Yeah.
But then it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I thought I better get to bed.
No. I mean, I've been staying up some nights till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's like what's the point? I mean, I've got nothing to get up early for, and I hate it.
Are you sleeping in then? Are you still like programmed to get up? I'm up at 7.
I still wake up early. I wake up. I normally get up.
Yeah.
I mean, I woke up just after 8 o'clock this morning, which is sometimes. I mean, but I'm going to bed sometimes. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's midnight. Sometimes it's later.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just wake up and I don't know. I'm just I'm not sleeping very well anyway with all this going on. It's on the back of my mind.
No, I'm not. That's why I backed off on news and this. You see, that's because I think you can get really engrossed in it.
No, and also just going.
Background.
If you watch live news, it goes around in circles. They just every single one is coronavirus. What you do for me is in the morning, I quickly go to BBC News. I just look at the headlines. That's it. So I know the basics, and then that's it. It's about 2 minutes. I look at the main topics, and then that's it. That's my news. All right, this is how many people have died today. This is what's happening in this old folks' home. This is happening there. This is, and it's. What can I do? It's so depressing. This is why I'm going through The Expanse at the moment. We're going to hopefully feature that on next week's show. By the way, Martin's already seen it. I'm at the end of season 3, and it's looking really interesting. But yeah, watching lots of sci-fi is for me, which of course is one of my main likes. I've also got that. Just got hold of a Peter Kay comedy series called Phoenix Nights, which people have told me about.
It's fantastic.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah,
I've never seen it. So it looks like it's
the
really up my.
In the wheelchair.
Yeah. It looks really good. So I'm going to check that out, and I'll let you know what that's like.
There's a spin-off series called Paddy and the 2 Bouncers.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case,
they travel the country in a motorhome.
Okay, that sounds good.
Paddy and something. It's absolutely disgusting.
Okay.
It's funny. It's cringe-worthy.
Right.
Well, I'd watch Phoenix Night and then jump onto that.
All right, mate. I didn't know there's a spin-off. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So I'm watching lots of comedies, watching old series. I managed to get a Space 1999 season 2, high def as well, which I haven't seen before, which is good. I'm going through that. We had the Red Dwarf. Did we talk about Red Dwarf? Oh no, we're going to talk about the new one plus that's our focus of the week, by the way. But we're just sort of talking a bit generally because we haven't got a lot of news to share with the world, really. I mean, what I'll do is I'll go into my website that gives me news, and then I'll see if there's. I mean, you might have some news. Do you want to go into the sci-fi news?
We can do, but I ain't got any news.
Well, let's hear the jingle. Let's hit the jingle.
Let me go on Facebook and see if there's anything.
And I'll do that as well.
I'm going to Google something now. Hang on.
And I'll do the same.
I'm going to sci-fi news.
I'm going into Cult Box as well.
There's got to be something.
Okay, well, let's hit the jingle.
Sci-fi news.
Let's hit the jingle and we'll see where we go. Here we go.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi
News.
All right, so we're looking through for some sci-fi news, and we're both hunting desperately for anything. Let's have a look.
Right.
Afterlife Season 2 gets trailer. That's not sci-fi, that's cult. Although I like Afterlife with Ricky Gervais. So, what do we got? ITV's... What's that going on about bloody ITV dramas? Avenue 5, talk Season 2. All right, this is something. Let's have a look at this. Now, I saw Avenue 5 just about all of the first season.
I've only seen 2 episodes.
I was really underwhelmed, but I didn't think it was particularly funny. The copy I was watching, also the sound was very slightly out of sync with the lip movements, which slightly distracting when I was watching it. But I didn't find it very funny, actually.
No, I lost interest after 2.5 episodes. That'll be cancelled. I've got a feeling that's getting cancelled.
Well, no, this is what I'm going about. It says here that Season 2 is in development, apparently. HBO has given Avenue 5 the green light for Season 2, but pre-production work has ground to a halt due to the coronavirus outbreak. Surprise, surprise. The sci-fi series created by Armando Lozani and starring Hugh Laurie, Josh Gad, blah, 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 among others, follows the passengers of a crew of a galaxy-trotting cruise ship as it loses its way, turning a quick holiday in the stars to a grueling affair as everyone starts to realise they're trapped together for a long time. He says here, we've mapped out the first 6 episodes of Season 2. The final 3 will probably be mapped out next month. The guy confirms. But it can basically about people in isolation. Oh, I don't think I've actually seen that. So we'll just be seeing what the mood might be and how we pitch. Is it going to be a bleak despair, or is it going to be very silly, or maybe silly despair? I don't know. We try to make a Season 1 as silly as possible, but it seems to have strangely become a kind of documentary about present-day conditions. I just didn't find it very... I don't know what it was supposed to be. It didn't quite feel like a comedy.
No.
It just felt like they were just... I don't know, I didn't bounce off it very well, I'm afraid.
No, I'm just looking now that they've released pictures of the new Dune movie.
Oh, now I was never mad on the original. Were you a big fan of the original one? Was that the one
which one the remakes in the early 2000s or the original?
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I knew of the original one. Is that the one with the spice?
Yeah.
I saw that many years ago, and I was a bit underwhelmed by the original one. I didn't see the remake you saw.
Well, in 2000, I think it was 2002, Sci-Fi financed to put millions into it. They actually redid the first book,
right?
Which is actually, I preferred it to the film, but they did the second book as well when it went beyond that. Because there's loads of books in Dune Saga. My dad used to read them. They were like Bibles. They were that thick,
right?
You know, the Dune books. And so they did a second season. But then they cancelled it on Sci-Fi. I do recommend it. It's very good, actually. The CGI's a bit cheesy now.
Right.
But it's...
okay. Yeah,
but they have remade... I don't know why they've remade it, actually, but they've released some pictures. So you know, that, I suppose that's some sci-fi news for you.
Yeah, but and so this is a film, I assume, not a TV film or TV.
It's a film.
It's
I won't be going to see it. I'm fed up with that first book all the time. You know, honestly, I know the story of the spice and that, so I can't be bothered. On books, there's a foundation, Isaac Asimov's Foundation, that's getting made by Apple TV.
Good.
Be interested. Not read that in years.
Right.
Pacific Rim.
Oh, I saw that's the film, Pacific Rim. Is that a film? Original one?
Hang on, I'm reading here. Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim was a massive box office hit and has gained a strong fan base.
Yeah.
The sequel might not have been able to recreate the magic of the original, but there are still many uncharted territories when it comes to exploring several plot lines and the character of the films. Netflix has recognised this untapped potential and has given us a series order for an anime that will build upon the struggle of the humans to defeat the kaijus using the manhandled robot machine shakers.
Right, because I thought they made 2 Pacific Rim films already.
They did. The story will be pursued from the point of view of a teenager and his sister.
Okay, all right.
Yes, that's the cartoon series. Picard Season 2.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian 2.
Well, Mandalorian.
But
I'm not bothered about Star Trek Picard, quite frankly. I'll watch it, but like I said, I really, the more I thought about it, the more it just didn't feel quite right to me. But Mandalorian, bring it on. I mean,
Yes,
that's the best series. The two best series last year for me were the overall of the Mandalorian, season 2 and season 1 respectively.
Yes.
They've just both got they're completely whatever I like in this genre. And the thing is, you see, when you like science fiction, it doesn't mean that you like everything. You know, I like a lot of sci-fi, but there's some stuff which doesn't click with me, which unfortunately it also includes Picard. It just doesn't feel like. But then, you know, a lot of people with Star Trek, you know, they don't like one series, or I can't watch the original, it's too old, or I don't like DS9, it's not on a starship. You know, we all like different aspects of Star Trek. For me, I like all the TOS, TNG, DS9, VOY, and ENT. And I like the Next Generation movies and the classic original style movies. I don't mind the Kelvin as popcorn fluff, but I've not clicked really with Discovery or Picard, unfortunately. And I think for me, at least, it feels it's based on the producers of CBS and Alex Kurtzman and those people. I just don't feel are the right people to be in charge of the Star Trek franchise. For me, at least, that's just how it is.
I also thought I gave up on Kelvin Timeline after the second movie, Into Darkness.
I thought the third one was good. I actually liked
the third one. Wasn't bad, actually. I quite enjoyed it.
I went to see that. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't. It just appeared on my screen one afternoon. I watched it. It just appeared from nowhere. I don't know where.
I don't know.
There.
It just happens. Yeah, it's one of those things. We went to see it though, and I remember I was quite impressed with it. Actually, number 3, and they're supposed to be making a 4th one apparently now.
Yeah, what happened with that director? Emmett did. I forgot his name now. He did the vampire movies. You know him on it.
I can't think of his name.
He was in what was that vampire film called? Where George Clooney's in it. It's a brilliant film.
I've not seen it, but I know the guy you mean. But
the director, he was going to direct the next movie, but I forgot his name.
But Chris Pine apparently is back in. They settled their issues, so he will be back as Captain Kirk in number 4. But it's gone quiet again. But then it might have just gone quiet because of the dreaded coronavirus. So you know, this is what I'm saying. We're not hearing much because not much is going on.
No.
And there was supposed to be that Quentin Tarantino version of...
That's it, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, him. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. No, I thought you were talking about something else. No, his version. I don't know what happened with his version. That went quiet. And but from what I understood, the last I heard, it was going to be separate from the Kelvin Timeline movies. It's gone quiet. But then it would be quite interesting if he did it after doing things like Reservoir Dogs and stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened about that. But
have you seen the new Twilight Zone?
What, the TV series?
The new one, yeah.
I saw the first episode and thought it was crap.
Yeah, I did. I watched 3 episodes. Sorry.
I watched the first episode and I gave up. I thought it was shite.
Absolute shite. It was. I watched 3 episodes, sat there and thought, what the fuck?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I watched 1 episode I had 2 to watch. I watched 1, and I've got every episode of the Twilight Zone from the 60s, the 80s, and the 2001 Forrest Whitaker one, and I like all of those.
Oh God, I remember that.
I've got that. I've got the Forrest Whitaker one. It's actually not bad. There's some good episodes in that series, but this one, it was shite. It was absolute, and they remade 20 at 20. Terror at 20,000 feet, which was originally done.
The podcast at 20,000 feet.
Yeah, and it was a podcast. It was crap. I mean, the original one with William Shatner and the one on with John Lithgow in the movie were brilliant. Yes. I love both versions. Actually, I prefer the John Lithgow one because it was just so good. But I like both versions. But this was just a mess. It was, and that was one of the most iconic episodes I remember from the Twilight Zone, and they completely ballsed it up. Absolute rubbish. So no, I'm not. But I don't know. And also, sorry to say, but it was actually done by CBS as well. So go back to the stuff.
Disney's done well. I read an article about Disney the other day.
They are, yeah.
50 million subscribers.
Well, they started off this Disney streaming thing at the perfect time. It's like no, they did, didn't they? I mean, they couldn't have done it. I mean, it's like the only people who are going to bloody get money out of this, it's going to be bloody Disney and Netflix is good as well. And I don't watch a lot of live stuff on those things either. I tend to watch stuff which I hear about. But they're great. And well, Disney, well, good luck to them. I mean, I'm happy with what they've done with Star Wars. I mean, Disney makes Star Wars, CBS makes Star Trek. Go on, Disney. Not for CBS. I'm sorry, I'm going on about CBS a bit too much today. I'm just a bit disappointed.
Well, apparently people didn't go for monthly subs. They all just paid for a year. Most people paid for a year.
Did they? Yeah. Well, you can't blame them. I think that
was just how long they were going to be stuck in house for, But
yeah,
I know. I'm not on Netflix every day. I'm probably going about once a week, and I don't watch it. If something I like a series pop, then I'll tune in for that one particular series.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on to Amazon if something pops up.
Well, what we've got to do is I've got to listen to what you recommend, because I like the majority of the stuff that you like. So you telling me about stuff. I mean, I think you're the one to tell me about The Expanse, which is what I'm watching now. And vice versa, you can check out the Outer Limits and stuff. So it's good that not only do we share stuff that we can get into on the podcast, but other people, hopefully they'll hear this and think, oh, let's try that. That might be quite good. And it'll help them to pass the time as well during this god-awful time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
So anyway, that's a bit of news that I've located. Any other things? I mean, that's the main bits I've come from for news, really.
I think that's it, really. That's it. I think we'll have to do some research for next week's show for Sci-Fi News. They're running out of things.
I know. Well, we can just talk about.
What we're going to do?
Well, we can still talk about lots of stuff. I mean, you never stop me talking.
They've cancelled out soap operas. Can you believe that?
Oh, no. What about EastEnders? What are we going to do without EastEnders?
I don't know.
I've not watched it for 25 years. Bloody EastEnders and Coronation Street. It's shite. I can't watch anything of that rubbish. God almighty. I like 3 or 4 times a week, sitting there just like vegetables, watching that god-awful cack. Sorry, I'm not a fan of soap operas. Oh, I used to like Brookie. All right, Brookie.
Oh, God,
Brookside. No, sorry, I do I always go to my Scouse accent when I hear Brookie. But all right. But I love
Barry and Terry.
Oh, it was brilliant. But Brookside was the best ever. That was just oh my God, I love Brookside.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one where the
it was like an alternative reality, Brookside.
Yeah, it was.
It was just so.
I mean, it was so much more of a fictional drama than a soap opera, which is why I liked it. Do you remember the storyline where the wife buried the husband under the patio in the garden?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember? Yeah, fucking hell, yeah.
Jimmy Corkle. I wish that. Do you know what? If anybody's listened to this and they've got the rights, please can you stream Brookside? I would love to sit there and watch all the old Brooksides. They're
all on YouTube.
Are they not? Are they?
I watched the final episode a couple of years ago, so I've not seen Brooke. I thought, how did it finish?
God.
And I watched the final episode, and in fact, there was a drug dealer had moved on so close, and he was intimidating everybody. And Barry Grant came back and teamed up with Jimmy Corkle, and they murdered him.
Oh, I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the final episode. I couldn't stop laughing. I watched it with like an hour. I thought, go on, because I used to be a big fan of Brooks.
Yeah, I used to like The Bill as well. I used to like. I thought that was quite.
I used to watch
I've got a load of episodes of that as well. The Bill.
Yeah, Don Beach when he got caught. We're addicted to that. You know, Don Beach, the corrupt copper.
Yeah. He got found out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was good.
Got a couple of spin-off series where they caught him, didn't they? God, I've got to get a fucking life.
I know, me too, mate. Me too. No, it was good. It was good stuff. I mean, I did like all that. I have to admit that. And like I said, I don't know. It's just something I used to watch and stuff.
Yeah, it's classic, Bill. It's the classic.
I know. And somebody used to call me Reg Hollis. They used to go on, Reg. And I think it's because I was a bit more innocent and naive back in those days. Being compared to Reg Hollis was not the best of a example for me, but it's good stuff.
Sun Hill, that was it.
Sun Hill. It was great. And I remember one or two episodes where a regular character got killed off in an episode, like a surprise kind of thing. I was like, oh my God, It was good. It was a good series. But there we go. It's not sci-fi, but it's still entertainment and stuff, so it's definitely worth checking out. And again, The Bill is always popping up on YouTube. What happens is somebody uploads a load of The Bill, and then their channel gets closed about a month after. That seems to be happening quite a lot. So if you do spot them, then watch them while they're there, because I think they're definitely worth a look. And what I'm going to do in a second, see if Brookside's on there. I might watch some of those because you know you can watch like YouTube on your main
Watch the
TV.
final episode.
Oh,
There's one
yeah,
episode
but I
where
can't remember.
Adrian Grant's ghost is there when Barry Grant stood over his gravestone. It all gets a bit surreal, does Brookside.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
well.
almost like not a science fiction element, but like a bit of a horror element. I always found that Brookside Close was like probably built on some evil cemetery.
Graveyard. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I
Yeah,
knew, just before you said it, I knew you were going to say graveyard or like some sort of cemetery or something.
Number 9, or was it number 9 or number 10 Brookside Close? There were more murders that happened in that house than any other house in soap opera universe.
Yeah. Thing is, though,
And we can't talk about soap opera because in the Colbys, the spin-off.
I
from
know
Darkness-
Emma Sam's with the UFO. Yes, we can do
Yeah.
that. Yes, we can. That's a
No,
good
we
point.
can't cover soap operas, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're allowed.
Well, that's all right. And like I said, I mean, in the end, also, people, although this is still very sci-fi based, we're also living in a bit of a sci-fi world at the moment, which includes so, you know what I mean?
Do you know, somebody told me that ITV put Contagion on, you know.
I watched that. I watched that about 3 days ago. The first time I've ever seen it. I've never seen
And
it
I
before.
I was going through YouTube and the Andromeda strain popped up.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
for fuck's sake. I mean, you know, I'm not exactly going to be jumping on I Am Legend and the Omega Man.
Well, no, I've not seen Contagion, but it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting how
Right.
there's that term where if it's this current coronavirus is 2.5, there's a name for it, something 2.5 in it being spreadable, but in the Contagion it was 4.5 or something, so it was a lot more contagious. But it was also it was killing 30% of people in that one, whereas this one's supposed to be more like 2-3% or something. But it was very interesting, and it did go into a more sort of movie mode with people panicking and stuff and fighting in supermarkets and stuff. But you know, although this is terrible, if it was worse, would people be acting more antisocial? I don't know. I think they would myself. I don't know. But it was very interesting, and it's actually there's loads of Brooksides on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I'd watched the final episode.
Brookside.
I had to watch the final episode about 3 years ago. I only watched that one because I was hooked on Brookside for some reason. I didn't care about the other, it was just Brookside.
Rookie?
I think it was the whole Terry and Sinbad and Barry and all that.
Sinbad. I forgot about Sinbad.
Yeah, the window cleaner.
That's it.
I remember one episode before we're gone, it was Christmas, right?
Right.
I know it's not science fiction. Well, it could be Santa
Oh, let's
Claus.
just go with it. I don't mind. Go for it.
Right, he comes up with his con. He goes round all the houses. He sells everybody a Christmas turkey, and he turns up with a turkey on the dog lead. And they're all going, well, this is what you bought. He says, do you want it? And nobody wants it because it's alive. So he walks over to Harry Cross, and he just gets it by the neck and goes, thanks, and shuts the fucking door.
What? Oh my god. Oh, Ted, there's loads on here. There's loads of Brookie. Oh, I might have to. I don't know though. I don't want. Yeah, I just remember Sinbad. I remember Sinbad had a girlfriend, and all he used to. She was always complaining because her mother was ill, and it always used to go, "What about me mum?" And Sinbad was like trying to sort of like, "Oh, what about me mum? You need to go see me mum, like." And I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake, get rid of that girlfriend going on about his whinging mother all the time." All I remember is, "What about me mum?" There you go. That's my Scouse accent. Sorry, everybody. I won't do that anymore. You obviously don't remember that storyline.
No. I did watch the spin-off movies of Barry Grant when he came back for his revenge.
Right.
I mean, all that from a close.
Oh no, it was so over the top, which is why I liked it. It really was proper fiction, but there we go. Right, I think on that note, we'll move on from Brookie, and we'll go into the Solo One Sci-Fi Focus of the Week. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi Focus
of the week.
Right, this week it's a big one. It's fun in the sun. It's been going for 32 years, and it just had its latest episode released last week. It is, of course, the one and only Red Dwarf, which also features another Scouser. Martin, what do you think of Red Dwarf?
I was 35% out of 100.
35% out of 100.
Yeah.
No, what do you mean? I'm lost. What do you mean by that?
Well, 3 out of 10. I was sort of impressed at the first half an hour. I sort of got into, and then somewhere I lost interest.
All right. So obviously, you're talking about the latest episode. I rated it quite highly. It's. I think that one factor, which of course you mentioned before, was that you were thinking that, you know, this could well be the episode where it all gets wrapped up, and fair enough.
I was hoping that.
Yeah, you were thinking about that, which is understandable. I can certainly appreciate that, and it didn't. I'm aware that the actors are quite old, and also it used to be Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, and one of them went off. They had some big spats back in season 7, I think it was, and then after that it was. Is it Rob Grant? I think Rob Grant's the one that's still running it. Is it, or is it all the way around?
Doug Naylor. Was it Doug Naylor?
I can't remember which one's gone. Which one's gone?
I think Doug Naylor does it. I could be wrong.
I can't remember.
To Google it.
Yeah. If you're offering, go for it. I can't remember.
Right.
Well, anyway, why are you doing that? So basically, that was a factor which happened in the series when it was being run by the BBC, and a lot of people have said that after this split, it never quite found its true form as to how, or its heights as it reached in the original series. I'm actually quite okay about it myself. I like the fact that most episodes have continued to be rather standalone rather than a huge arc. I mean, the series does have an arc in some regards, but in the same regard, you could just normally just go into an episode, and it's got an A or B plot, and it sort of all wraps up, and then you're back to the beginning again with them normally on the Red Dwarf or sometimes just on Starbug.
It was Naylor.
Naylor's the one that's gone. So Rob Grant's the one that's
Grant. Grant left and Naylor took it over. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a strange one because it's a bit like the Office, where it was Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant did that, and they also did Extras and a few others. And of course, then Merchant went off his own way, and the comedy is sometimes the best of these series are when you've got a dual kind of main writing focus of two people who bounce off each other, and when they fall out, there is something missing. I, for one, am going to talk about the new episode, although this is the focus of the week, so we're going to talk about the whole series in general as well. But with the new series, I like the fact that it went full circle with some respects, i.e. that with the cat people, where we finally meet some other members of the Cats, and of course it's confirmed in episode 2 or 3 about Cloister and the way that cats don't read, they sniff books, and that was great continuity. And the Cats apparently having a brother, which was quite interesting. What do you think about that?
I thought, I'll give that to Red Dwarf. I love Red Dwarf. It's the one thing it has stuck is the canon. You can't knock it on that. It has stuck to canon.
Yeah, although there have been some big discontinuities with canon. First one was Kachansky, where Lister was always in love with her and she wasn't interested in the first seasons, and then it jumped to that they had a relationship which was completely disregarding canon. I mean, you could look at things like
but she from Parallel Universe. So.
No, it's before that. It was before that.
Claire Grogan.
Yeah, it's still with Claire Grogan that they were in a relationship, but it wasn't in the first couple of seasons before the Chloe, whatever her name is, took over in season 7. But also, like, there's stuff like Rimmer used to walk through walls in the first season, whereas later on he had a light beast, so technically he shouldn't do that. But I mean, that's just me being pernickety. But one other discontinuity is that in the last episode we meet Kat's brother, but in the episode Sirens in season 6, Lister had gone into suspended animation for 200 years. He comes out and he's got really long fingernails. So how can the cat have a brother from 200 years? Unless cats have a very long lifespan, there's a possibility that you could still excuse that discontinuity in time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, they might have all been in suspended animation. And how did they build them ships on the left Red Dwarf as well?
Yeah, but then I suppose over 3 million years, the cat civilization evolved to create machines and create ships, I suppose.
So, is there a cat planet out
Yeah,
there,
I was
then?
just about to think that as you said that. Technically, there should be a cat planet, surely, where they evolved and then they made the ships, and then Red Dwarf, obviously. Yeah, so I think that's something which they could have actually focused on. They could have a civilization of billions, and all we saw was about 4 or 5 ships with God knows how many people on. So, yeah, that wasn't quite. They could have gone much further into that.
Yes.
But then you might have thought that with the Red Dwarf heading back home, that they would have had already more signs of the cat people, unless they're just suddenly getting into like cat space, like like Voyager getting into Borg space or something. And now you're going to start sort of seeing more aspects of the cat people. That could be an interesting sort of thing.
Well, I thought that we cat, like, I wanted a lot more with Danny John Jones. I thought he'd been more into meeting his people.
That was my
and I was a bit disappointed.
That was my major criticism, that he didn't seem to have any response at all to meeting his own cat people. He didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
and cat ladies.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't seem to react at all. It was like just the aliens of the week kind of thing. But cat, he's very self-centered. So maybe because he's a cat and he acts in a certain way, that he acts in a cat way and he doesn't sort of show emotion and excitement. And I don't know. I thought it could have been handled better. I kept looking at Danny John Jules when he meets the cats and thinking, well, what's he going to do? And he just sort of like, he's just sort of like there, sort of with the other crew and not responding and acting like, okay, who cares? That was my main criticism of the last episode. He didn't seem to be overwhelmed or even trying to get cat girlies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
that was
it had potential. I mean, I did sort of enjoy it, but I was just I thought the trailer for it was superb, and I got quite hyped up for it, and I just felt it let me down a bit.
Right.
I thought the special effects
they're good.
were awesome.
Yeah, well,
and it suited it as well. There's a lot of good points in there, but when the scene where Rimmer's fading out and they plug him in and he's going, nobody likes me and all that went on for about 5 minutes. I thought, well, I've heard all this before.
A bit drawn out. Yeah, a bit drawn out.
They've been doing this for the last 10 seasons or 20, however many here we go, none of them like him, and it was just like, it was like some running jokes that I'm just bored of now. They've done it all in the
I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I wasn't particularly bothered by that scene. I like the fact that he was in lower power mode and he was having a wire and stuff like that, and he was black and white and he had really bad sound and audio. I thought that was all good, but some stuff went around in circles. Yeah, I could see that.
I did like the bit where he said, well, really, I don't exist, and what's the point? Well, that word, I did laugh at that. And when he became godlike for about 4 seconds, I thought that was
with his diamond light drive, which I thought was really funny. That was good.
When he says, I'm a superhero, and then he just switched off. I did laugh at that. I thought that was best bit in it,
I think there were some moments of real highs, and there's some lows in it as well. Yeah. But I personally think that, it was a very, very good production. In essence, it was good. And I'm glad that they made it. I hope that... I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, they're all getting so old now, but it's still watchable. It's still enjoyable.
There is something there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
There's something there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, going back to the Picard thing, I didn't feel it with that. I just feel, I don't know. It's just something which is still there, as you say. Something which is not BBC related as well.
A mate of mine, I spoke to him on Sunday. He said to me, he really enjoyed Red Dwarf. He thought it was great, and he said it was better than Picard. That's what he said.
I just said that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I agree.
So yeah,
I agree. And I'm glad that the BBC didn't do it. And I'm glad that it wasn't too politically correct just to be politically correct. It was just a comedy with them meeting the cat people, and I liked it. It felt quite old, traditional comedy with some good special effects, some good laughs, and it's great seeing Holly back again properly as well. I like Holly being back. Norman Lovett was back as well, and he did not. He didn't like him in those scenes.
No, I didn't find him funny at all. He just did absolutely nothing.
No,
I prefer Atty Jakes.
Oh, I prefer Norman myself.
Hattie, what's she called?
Hattie Haybridge.
Hattie, I prefer her.
Yeah, but she wasn't in that long. She was in season 3, 4, 5, wasn't she?
Well, they should bring her back. I thought she was great.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why they didn't bring her back when they got Red Dwarf back. When Red Dwarf was reconstructed, they got Norman back again.
Well, I had a big argument with Norman Lovett down the phone.
Yeah, you told me about it. Did you tell me? I don't think you told me this on the podcast. So if you didn't, refresh.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened.
Well, I was trying out stand-up comedy at the time, and I was writing stuff. And somebody said, "Oh, he's teaching people," so I phoned him up, and I had a few phone calls with him. Well, I don't know. I was young. I went off and met somebody or something. I didn't turn up, and he phoned me up, but he never told me he wanted 25 quid an hour. And this was back in 2000, and I thought, what, 25 quid an hour? I thought, yeah. So he got really annoyed with me down the phone. I called him a dickhead. I said, don't you? He was really nasty. And I turned around and said, fuck you, you dickhead.
Oh,
and
my God.
And I thought, you're not talking to me like that. And he slammed the phone down on me, and I just thought, well, I'm not fucking £25. This were back in 2000, you know. I'm not paying him 25. Telling me down the phone he was a successful comedian. Because I said to him, well, why are you advertising in stage for that then?
Yeah.
You know,
well,
and it was, I mean, I laugh about it now, but it's, you know, I've never found him that funny. I like him in Red Dwarf at the beginning, but
I've not seen him in anything else but Red Dwarf, so I haven't got a very good.
He had a sitcom. He brought this sitcom. I think when he left the BBC Finance Summit, and it just flopped. They put it on. It was all about him being this like depressing character or funny, and it just didn't work at all. It was terrible. I think it was called Norman or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Actually, no, I seem to vaguely remember that. I seem to vaguely remember something called Norman. I never saw it. Yeah, that rings a bell now you say that.
But I'd never, you know, I'd never took to him. I think she's great. I thought I've seen her at the Comedy years ago. She's really funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in the end, it depends on what you've seen. But yeah, it's surprising that you had a conversation with him and he slammed the phone down. It was so good if you had the audio of that. We could have played that. That would have been really funny and stuff. But,
yes.
But I mean,
what's your favourite episode?
That's what I'm saying. Some of my favourite episodes. Backwards from season 2. I thought that was very
classic.
Good. Legion was another good episode.
Yes.
I'm trying to get a list up of all the actual episode names. Let's have a quick look. There's so many that sometimes you just don't know the names of the episode.
Yeah, for me it was the entirety of season 4, and the best one I thought was Wax World.
That was season 5, I think that was.
Was it season
Meltdown?
I think
that was called Meltdown. That episode.
Yeah, I just love that episode. Even when I watch it now, when he says "Get down and give me 5, Gandhi," I just bust out.
No. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh, the Inquisitor was good. I like the Inquisitor.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That was such a good episode. And, no, it's so changing people the sperm that didn't make it. Demons and Angels at season 5 as well. Season 5 has some great episodes.
Rim as well.
Yeah, Back to Reality as well, which was with Timothy Spall was in it as well, who I'm a big fan of from Alvida Same Pet. Yeah. That was season 5. Let's see what other episodes we had. Season 6, Silences. Legion is the one I'm watching tonight. We're going through the whole series, so Legion's the one I'm watching tonight, which is a good episode. Gunmen of the Apocalypse, Emma Hort, Polymorph 2, Rimmerworld, Out of Time, and then it went to season 7, where a lot of people didn't like season 7. That's the one where Rimmer left. Although it had Stoke Me a Clipper, which I thought was quite a good episode, where Rimmer goes off to be Ace. And then after that, we have the second Kachansky actress coming along, which I wasn't so mad about. But I'm looking at all these episodes coming by, and they all had some good episodes in every single season, I think.
Yeah, they did.
But like I said, it's somebody was saying now they watched an episode with Lister where he's got that great big pile of beer bottles, and they were saying that it was funny back in the 80s when he was like a 20-something, but He came across now as a bit of a sad old man who's got a real sort of problem. So did you get that, or what did you think about that?
I think there is a point to that, because I think they should stick with that. I really do, because he's a complete failure, and he's just never changed. He's a slob. He's just got no respect for himself, has he, whatsoever? Who's been there to tell him? He just sits on his ass, and that's the way it goes. I mean, some people don't change, do they? And he might not be doing it as much, but he's still doing the same thing, eating the curries and the lager, and it could be. But I mean, some people don't change, do they? They get set into a lifestyle, and that's it. I can sort of get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that people.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like, in some ways, going back to the infamous coronavirus, he's in sort of quarantine in his own ship. He's on his own, apart from these other characters, and he can't sort of go out, and he can't meet people, he can't go clubbing, he can't go to meals and stuff. He's sort of stuck, so he's sort of stuck in a rut. Yeah. Which I think, in some ways, we all are a bit at the moment. So let's not hope that this thing turns us all into Dave Lister.
God, I hope not.
We could talk about. I mean, it'd be interesting about sort of 6 months' time.
But
to see
I think we all know a Dave Lister somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I think we do. Yeah, there's Dave Listers out there, isn't there?
Yeah, people who just like this, literally sort of like bumming about, drinking their beer.
Yeah, but they're happy.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I've got a neighbour opposite me, and I've got two names for her, because I've been here 12 years, and nobody knows who she is, so I can say. First of all, she's got big earrings, and I thought I heard someone calling her Vera, so I call her Era Vera. But since then, she literally doesn't go out at all. I mean, everybody came out clapping last week for the clap thing on Thursday, and she, of course, the lights are on inside. She doesn't come out. I just call her the Lump. That's what my name is. I just call her the Lump. She's just an absolute waste of space who just doesn't do anything. I don't think she's ill, because I've seen her getting minicab. We call them aqua cars in Portsmouth. They're our minicab service. Aqua cars. This is a job for aqua cars. What real cheesy name we've got down here. And she does that all right, but she doesn't look ill. She's just bloody bone idle. She's got a kid and keeps shouting at it, and she's obviously a real rough piece of work and stuff. But that's the sort of people you get. You get that with certain people that just literally just every day is just slobbing, eating more, getting fatter, and But she doesn't seem that happy either. So it'd be all right if she's happy. But I don't know. I mean,
she could be. She could be, for all you know.
Maybe she just doesn't like going out, which is when she looks sort of miserable and sort of like a bit unapproachable.
She might be a lottery winner. She's sat on millions.
She might be watching Dave Lister on Red Dwarf every day of her life, and she's imprinted her life. She's the biggest Red Dwarf fan, and she's just trying to look more like Dave Lister every day. I don't know.
Eating curries and drinking lager.
Yeah. Well, I think is so. I've already told you that how deadly curries are to predators. So you never know.
Oh God, yeah. And they've got bollocks as well.
I know they have. Yes, we some of the things we've. I mean, this is episode 20 now, so we're nearly half 6 months into this thing. I know, scary, isn't it? We've got loads of good stuff. Just to let people know, future episodes we're talking about doing The Prisoner, which is one of yours. We want to do probably The Expanse next week. Any other series that you want to bring up soon that we want to focus or films?
Give me a couple of days, and
there's no rush. I mean, like I said, we've got.
No, I'll let you know by the weekend. I'm just checking my social calendar to see what I'm doing over the next couple of days. I might have to cancel a couple of soirees.
I don't want to take you out of your valuable time, because I know how precious it is at the moment. You're a busy man.
Of course, yes. Of course.
Sorry about that. Yeah, take all the time you need, mate. That's what I'm saying to you. That'd be fun. Okay, mate. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about Red Dwarf? Because I think we've given it quite a good discussion.
There's one thing. Did you ever see the American version?
I did. I've got a rough copy of it. I've got a very fuzzy copy of it. It was pretty poor. It had Robert Llewellyn as Chryson back in it.
They nearly fell out with him over that.
Yeah, the actors were really, because he went off and he didn't tell anybody apparently, and then they were all upset.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and it flopped after the pilot. It was, and it had Jane, the actress who was in Frasier as Daphne. She was Holly. I don't know if you saw in Frasier, but it has what's the name who played Jane Leaves, something like that. So she came across as, she was all right, and she was British again, of course. But the other actors, I mean, the Holly was terrible. Oh, they also had Terry Farrell, who played Jadzia Dax. She played Kat.
Yes, she did.
But they made 2 pilots, actually. The other was a black actor who appeared in an episode of Quantum Leap as another hologram, but he was the Cat in the first version. He was all right, but the Dave Lister just didn't come across right at all. The actor who played Rimmer was terrible, and it was pretty poor.
Have we covered Quantum Leap?
No, we've got to do Quantum Leap. I love Quantum Leap.
I think Quantum Leap, because when you said about the other hologram, that's I was always fascinated. Well, just the evil leaper, and that world they came from.
Because Carolyn Seymour was no, she was the hologram, but there was another like a Ziggy sort of person who was also in one episode. That's the guy I'm thinking of. But I love Quantum Leap. And I thought Scott Bakula was so good in that. We'll have to do that, and that went on for 5 seasons as well. So we've got lots of shows. That's going to get me working hard on my graphics, but that's fun. I enjoy doing it and making the shows look cool when I get them released. So brilliant. That's excellent. Thank you for that. Now this is an interesting one coming up. Now, are you ready for your Predator Versus? Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right. This is something which involves Crockett and Tubbs. Right, I've not seen this series. Let's hit the jingle and let's see how it goes. Here we go.
Predator versus.
Primitive but effective.
Being away with everything. There's a bowler, a half a dimension off, or disguised as a houseplant, or a record specialist nosing around.
Okay, Martin, it's over to you. Go for it.
Right, mine revised 1985. Crockett is ex-Vietnam vet. Ricardo Tubbs, New York tough street cop, put together take out Latino drug dealers every week. Drive around in a Ferrari Daytona, wear $5,000 Armani suits, and one lives on a boat and has a pet crocodile.
Right, okay, I didn't know that. Go on.
Right, so that's what happens. I mean, you just don't. And he's on 30-40 grand a year and he's living like this. But the whole police department, they're all under, it's all the cover.
Right.
So there's a deal going down. And Edward James Olmos Castile is the boss from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay. Didn't know
he's
that.
the boss, right? And he's a very sort of like quiet type boss, but he doesn't stand for any shit. Gets him into office. Says, look, you're going around posing at taxpayers' expense. You're going off down to the Florida Keys because there's a drug deal going down with the Colombian.
Okay.
Right, in kicks the music, the Vice music kicks in, all the bikini clad and everything. And then it's them in the Daytona driving off down to the Florida Keys, and it's full of hillbillies in this like thing. So they go off looking for this drug drop-off with the Colombian.
Right.
And they're in the Everglades, and they're armed with I've got Uzis. Right, they've got 2 Uzis and Beretta pistols. And Tubbs had a 38 pistol. They were crap. And so they're going off in designer suits, and they've got all gear. But they come across this Colombian drug deal, but they're all dead, and they've all had their bodies ripped out, and the bodies are hanging in a tree.
Okay.
And they've got a guide with them that's took them through Everglades, and he starts freaking out, going, it's the beast of the jungle. Suddenly a laser bolt fires out of the way and vaporizes this guy next to him. Tubbs turns around, fires off machine bullets everywhere. Right, and then fucking another laser bolt takes out Tubbs' legs. Bang, gone, he's on the floor.
Okay.
The machine bullets are everywhere. Meanwhile, Crockett, of course, who's going to be there, it's Don Johnson. In his white Armani pastel suit, he stood there where he's got crap all over him, blasting his pistol off and his machine gun. And this thing drops out.
Okay.
It drops out, right? It drops out, and he stood there looking at it. Well, it smacks Crockett, and he goes flying into a wall coke. Well, anyway, it's going over to Tubbs to rip his head off, and there's the trophy. He's trying to load bullets into his shitty 38 pistol. And anyway, Crockett is in all the coke, and guess what happens?
What?
He gets absolutely smashed.
Okay.
He's breathed in like 6 keys of coke, right? And he comes out like an animal, right? Ripped suit and his vest, and he's got his gun, blast loads of bullets into Predator, and he starts having a punch up with Predator, and he gets a big key of coke and smacks it in his face and rubs it all over Predator, because Predator took the helmet off, you know, because they do.
Yeah.
And suddenly Predator's off its head with coke, and he picks up this machine gun that were next to it. No, bazooka. There's a bazooka. I don't know why there's it's a drug deal. There's a Colombian bazooka there, and he gets it and he blows the fuck out of the Predator. But the Predator's off its head. He's like going, "Hey man, what's going on? Like, I've got bullets and I'm there." And suddenly, like, it's all in slow motion.
Right.
All in slow motion. He fires off this rocket and it hits the Predator, fucking vaporizes him. And then all that's left is Crockett and Tubbs, and like he's dragging his body out, and behind him is that explosion. You know, they aren't put them explosions behind him.
Right.
Carrying his mate off with one leg.
Okay.
And they're both coke. He has to give him coke to keep him all right. They're both absolutely smashed.
Oh.
And helicopters coming over in the background with the things in slow motion. And they get taken back to police headquarters, and that's it. And CIA turn up, you know, in from Predator 2.
Yeah.
Gary Booth's cat, he's in there going, "Have you seen it?" Then he goes, "Yeah, we took it out." And all the coke's gone.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, Predator versus Miami Vice took out half of one part. He's got one leg, and Crockett defeated it. Yeah. So, any questions?
No, I to be honest with you, this is a series I've not really focused on, so I need to sort of like let you do it. But it sounds like it was certainly an interesting encounter.
It was MTV Cops, that's what it was. Soundtrack is every episode.
Oh well, I'm glad that in the end, you know, it went the way it went. But yeah, what I did was I did mix in the theme tune at the beginning of this as well, so it will sort of give you some. So what are the main sort of? Do they have like catchphrases that, like another series that you sort of looking out for? You call Crockett and Tubbs. Do they have sort of catchphrases or what?
No, they're just super cool. It's like it's MTV music and they wear super clothes.
Yeah.
What he started was he made it acceptable to wear a t-shirt with the blazer. That's where it all comes from.
Oh, so he was like a fashion icon then, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, that's why I've gone about Armani suits.
And I remember I think they had the massive shoulder pads, didn't they?
Yeah.
So like
he made it fashionable for my people wear t-shirts. Because they were a whole fashion thing.
When you were telling me about this, I envisioned the two guys sort of like turning their shoulders round and bashing the Predator because they're so big that the Predator goes flying or something like that because they're massive. Yeah, well done for that. Crockett and Tubbs, it's something I've not seen, but it sounds like they were certainly. Yeah, I mean, they might have some episodes on YouTube at some point, like I said. Yeah. I'm still looking at all the Brooksides. I've got this, like, there's thousands.
We could do Predator versus Brookside. I'd be up for that.
Predator versus Jimmy Corkill. That might be quite good.
And Barry Grant and Terry and Sinbad.
Oh, God. Oh, well, let's think about that for next week. We could do another one of these. Yeah. Well, no, we could. It's all right. We could do that. It's sci-fi related. Challenge. And what about if we do the one where we bounce off and do like. And then we could take over and see where it goes because that's quite fun. Yes. I couldn't do it this week.
This week I challenge you.
Oh God!
Predator versus Brookside.
Dude, I've already got the theme tune under my head. Oh my God! Right, okay, you're on, matey. You're on for that one, definitely. Okay. Excellent. All right. Is there anything else? I think we're close to wrapping up now. Unless there's anything else you want to discuss.
No, that's it.
Okay. It looked like you've gone. You disappeared then.
My laptop in. I've just plugged it in. It said running out of power.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry.
I thought it was plugged in. I didn't realise.
You sounded like a little mole there for a second. No, that's it. Oh. Well, listen. Good luck with your TV.
Okay, we'll do. Yes.
Okay. Hope you get it all running. Is it a 4K? I assume it's a 4K. Is it?
Yes.
Brilliant. Thing is, there's not a lot of 4K stuff out there that I've seen. I mean, the Blu-rays are 4K
now. It's out of date. It's 8K now, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard that apparently there's no point after 4K because you can't get that much more specific with the pixels.
Well, to be honest, there's no point after 1080 HD and Blu-ray.
Well, I mean, I think 1080 is really good.
I don't think there's any point going beyond that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about 4K to 1080p, but I'm happy with my 1080p's, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's. I was looking at this TV. It was what was it? 89-inch. I saw this review on it.
oh god,
OLED, 89-inch.
oh no, that's really
And
good.
I will look. I have no way to put it, but the bloody size of it.
That's what she said.
This
Yeah.
guy had it in his front room. I was like, that's 89-inch.
If you've ever seen,
coming out this year, 98-inch.
If you've ever seen the IT Crowd, there's a very funny episode where they've got this massive TV and it's in this tiny, tiny room, and it's literally about a metre away from their faces. And it's. Have you ever seen the IT Crowd? Yeah, the IT Crowd's a very funny comedy, actually. It's very good.
It is, yeah.
I love the IT Crowd. All right, Martin, thanks for that. I think we should leave with a Red Dwarf themed song. And this is Danny John Jules singing Tongue Tied.
Ah.
You ever heard of that?
Yes, I have,
Yes. Well, he did release this as a single, although it featured on the episode. Yeah, this is the single version, which was actually...
released it as a single.
Yeah, I don't know how far it went in the charts, but it was physically a single. So let's give this a listen, and we'll be back next week with the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast. Martin, thank you very much.
Yes. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Catch you later.
Whenever you are near me, I get tongue-tied. When I saw you for the first time, my knees began to quiver, and I got a funny feeling in my kidneys and my liver. My hands, they started shaking, and my heart began to pumping. My breakfast left my body. Now, darling, tell me something. Why do you make me tongue-tied? Tongue-tied. Whenever you are near me, tight tongue, tight tongue, tight tongue, tight tongue. Whenever you're in town, you make me feel a clown, girl. Yes, you make me tongue-tied, tongue-tied. Why can't I tell you clearly? Tight, tight, tongue, 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 tight, tongue, tight. Whenever you're around, I saw you cross the dance floor, dancing. I thought of birds and bees, but when I tried to speak to you, talk, my tongue unraveled to my knees. I tried to say I love you, but it came out kind of wrong, girl. It sounded like nobody do. Burn me now, girl. It's how you make me tongue-tied, tongue-tied. Whenever you are near me, burn me. Whenever you're in town, my trousers, they go round, girl. Yes, you make me nongy, nangy. Why can't I tell you clearly? Darby, tongue-tied. Whenever you're around. Slow it down, fellas. Oh, I'm begging on my knees. Sweet, sweet, darling, listen, please. Understand what I say. Baby, I'm just tongue-tied for you, baby. Tongue-tied, baby. Wait. I think I got it. What? Derble, diggle, doggle, niggle, foggle, nibble, hey. I'm trying to say I'm tongue